And good evening, high school football fans. Welcome to the first Prep Sports Report Pigskin preview. I'm the coach, Carl Demasi. I'm glad to be back with you, and I'm looking forward to another exciting week of high school football here in Savannah, Georgia. Okay, tonight's first show for the Prep Sports Report is here for 2022. So we're going to talk about some high school football, and it's a jam-packed show. We'll talk about who will be on tonight in a moment, but let's review last week's final scores in week number 2. But as they say around here, week number 1. But it's week number 2 because we're going into week number 3, even though they call it a week number 2. You go figure it out. All right, here we go. Jenkins beats Bluffton 34-21. Savannah Christian over Island 69-6. New Hampstead 44. West Hempstead 7. Brantley County 42. Groves 8. Savannah Country Day 28. Pinewood Christian 6. Bryan County 56. Trutland County 0. Richmond Academy 49, Savannah High 0, Ware County 20, Richmond Hill 7, Burke County 28, Effingham 10, Christopher Columbus, Miami 41, Benedictine 15, and Vidalia beats Beach 42 to nothing. Valwood 30, St. Andrews 7, Fullington Academy 42, Memorial Day School 13, and the Bethesda Blazers 40, John Paul II 24. Now, here's your schedule for tomorrow night before I get to who's on the show, okay? Jenkins at Richmond Hill, Islands at South Effingham, Bradwell at New Hampstead, Pooler Stadium, Westminster at Benedictine Memorial Stadium, Eagles Landing Christian Academy at Calvary Day, Groves at Savannah High, Johnson at Windsor at Island Stadium, let me flip that around. Savannah Country Days at Aquinas. John Paul II at St. Andrews. Thomas Sumter comes in and takes on Bethesda at Daffin Park. Effingham County at Statesboro. Beach at Brantley County. And Bryan County at Wheeler County. Like I said, I got a packed show. I'm going to try and get 2 to 3 coaches every Thursday night, but I had 5 on the slate. One had an emergency, couldn't be here. And all please say a prayer for HV Jenkins head coach Tony Welch. Couldn't come on because he had to rush to go take care of his mother. I think his mother still lives out in Claxton. So hopefully we get Tony Welch on next week. Big comeback for the Warriors, coming back down 21-14 to beat Bluffton 34-21. So hopefully we can talk to him next week. But we'll start off in alphabetical order. We'll start off with the team that went down to Miami, Benedictine, and the head coach Danny Britt. Then we'll stay with the 2-0 Blazers, the head coach, the man, good friend of mine, Antoine Turner. Then Calvary Day School had a week off. Mark Stroud had a big event in his life. His daughter got married. They had a bye week. They'll be taking on Eagles Landing Christian Academy tomorrow night. And then we'll wrap it up with the man that's building the hill. Now, he's been there for 8 years, and I think he's been doing a good job building the hill. And that's, of course, Richmond Hill, the Wildcat himself, Matt Lazat, the head coach, Matt Lazat. All right, stay tuned because up first, the Cadets of Benedictine, then the Blazers of Bethesda, then Calvary Day School with Mark Stroud, and, of course, wrap it up with Richmond Hill head coach, Matt Lazat. Are you ready for some football? I am. And it's Thursday night. It's the Prep Sports Report Pigskin preview for week number 3. Yes, the old ball coach is calling it week number 3. Everybody else can say week number 2, but we've played 3 weeks, or we're going into week number 3. We played 2 weeks. And I guess the team that had the longest trip last week went down and played a perennial Florida powerhouse, Christopher Columbus. I mean, I think they only got 1,200, 1,400 boys to BC's 400 boys. But we'll get this straight with the numbers when we talk to the man himself. It's going to be short and sweet because I know he's all interviewed out, but I gotta thank him for always coming in and joining the show. The man from Benedictine, head football coach, Danny Britt. What's up, Coach?
Hey, Carl, how you doing?
Hey, it's fun talking to you guys after the previous week, then getting you insight on what's coming up this week. And I'll make it short and sweet because I know you've been interviewed so many times this week. But once again, I got to tell you, Coach, the internet the internet broadcast was not great. Of course, I listened to the Golden Voice, Kevin Thomas and Christian Gokel. I mean, you guys were in it the first quarter and a half, almost 2 quarters. And I thought, 41-15, I know it's not what we want. We want to win, but wasn't a bad showing for a lot of new people wearing that maroon and gray.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not disappointed in that necessarily. They were a better football team than us. And then what did we learn from that is that we're not as good as we thought we were. And like you said earlier, they have 1,880 boys in 9 through 12. So that's a lot of kids to choose from, and they do a very good job with them. So, there were some good things. There were some things we really, really got to work on. And it's when you play teams like that, they expose you, and they exposed us in some areas that, people are going to continue to come back to. And we're working really hard on getting it better.
Well, I know you said that last year. You said after the first 2 games, it's on me, it's on the coach staff. We got to get these boys coached up, and you did a great job. Hey, the outcome was another ring on that finger for you. So, you guys, coaches, we learn from our mistakes, and we try to get better each week. Is there any really one positive thing you can take from that game for the Benedictine Cadets going into this week's game?
Yeah, I think there's not a lot positive, honestly. There's some individuals that did some things that really hard that I was able to brag on, today and this week. I thought some young guys really played hard. I thought third Scroggins, really, for the third week in a row with him, he just played really hard and really fast the entire game. Thomas Blackshear played to the last minute, was blocking kids on sidelines, another young sophomore. Nasir Samuel, a guy who hadn't played a whole lot for us, really came in and added a long touchdown and sparked us. So we're trying to develop depth, and we feel like we found some.
Well, I know I told you I was going to keep it short and sweet, so we already talked about what you got to work on, and there's a lot to work on, but they're a young group. I mean, you got to get that O-line to gel together. You had some outstanding guys step up. Now, going into this week, I mean, you're not taking on another easy team. You're taking on Westminster. They're traveling down here. They opened up. They beat Lovett 14-0. They lost to Pace Academy 21-19. So what do you look for? What's the keys give me 3 keys for you guys to win this weekend?
One, we have to develop some consistency. That's what great teams have. And right now we don't have it. We're not consistently good at anything. We have some talent, so we can score points because we just have some raw talent. But we've got to become consistent in everything that we're doing in the kicking game, offensively and defensively. So, one, we have to do that because I can promise you Westminster is going to be consistent. They're going to be well coached, disciplined, in the best shape they can be in. They're not as talented as us, and certainly not as talented as the team we just faced. But they could come in and beat us. And I talked to the kids. I said, "Do y'all remember how miserable it was last year? When we were 0-2 there. We don't want to feel that way again."
All right, so it's at home, 7:30, Memorial Stadium. First of all, I know it's not about the game, but how you feeling there, big guy? Is that knee getting better?
Yeah, it's actually getting a lot better. I don't wear the brace during the day anymore, just at practice. So it's getting a lot better. I'm going to start back working out here soon.
We're not going to see you on the golf cart or scooter on the sideline?
I'll put the golf cart up. I'm done.
All right, Coach. Thank you for coming on. I know it's been a long day. You want to get home, but appreciate it and looking forward to that game Friday night at Memorial Stadium, 7:30 kickoff. Both very good, consistent teams. Benedictine taking on Westminster. Wish you the best of luck and have a good one.
Thank you, Carl. I appreciate you.
I'll talk to you. Thanks, Coach. And you can bet that Danny Britt is going to have the cadets ready this weekend. Like he said last year, he takes it on himself. He's the head coach. He's the CEO. He gets his coaches to work together, and he coaches these kids up. Whole new offensive line. Whole new cast of characters except for Croman Hawk and Brian. So I was impressed last week. I thought the kids, they always fight hard. They always fight for that maroon and gray, and I think you're going to get a great game Friday night, 7:30 at Memorial Stadium. Benedictine taking on Westminster. And as always, got to thank the ball coach, Danny Britt. And, welcome back. Thursday night, the Prep Sports Report, Pigskin preview for September 2nd. Love talking to this guy. He does a great job over at Bethesda Academy. They're off to a 2-0 start. And the man told me something last year, and the man speaks the truth. And he knows what he's talking about when he talks about his kids over there at Bethesda Academy. Joining me now to discuss the Bethesda Blazers. They're off to a 2-0 start. The head coach, the chaplain, the custodian, the groundskeeper, the bus driver, you name it, he does it. Good friend, Antoine Turner. What's up, Coach?
Coach, how are you today, sir?
Hey, I'm talking football with you guys, and I'm going to try and do this every Thursday night, bring on a couple of coaches, talk about the week before or the 2 weeks before. To me, this is week 3. You played 2, you start in week 3. I don't know why they call it week 2 when really you played week 0. But anyway, you told me last year, I know last year was growing pains. You told me last year this was going to be a year we're going to have to take baby steps. We're going to have to go slowly and grow. And here you are. You're 2-0, Coach.
Yes, sir. It's just, very proud of our guys and very proud of just them trusting the process. A lot of times you get kids that they don't understand the process. They want to be great. They want to step from A to Z instead of A to B. And our guys have really embraced the grind and really embraced our developing approach. And so last year, it was a growing year for us, a year for us to come together, to understand the game, to develop IQ for the game. And we had a really good summer where the guys have really bought into the weight room. And so we've been working very hard. Our coach has been working very hard with the guys. And so just happy that they're experiencing a glimpse of success. But, of course, the work's not done.
Well, you got 2 under your belt. You open up the season 8-7 winners. Then you come back and you win 40-24 last week against John Paul II. So tell us about the first 2 games, how the team came together and how you're going right now.
Well, against Hilton Head Prep, we felt like we had some moments where we could have broke out and had a more success offensively. We felt like defensively we were able to really close the gap. But then we found ways to, hold in calls, penalties, and we're finding ways to beat ourselves. And so we had to talk to the guys about, listen, right now you're your worst enemy. You're playing against you versus you. If you could just turn loose and just let yourself go and just let go of the pressure and just play football, great things can happen. And so we were able to close out the first victory. And second, against John Paul II, they have a very good football team, and they run the triple option and the flex bone. And so we had a turning point in that game, second quarter, that I believe will hopefully catapult us into the remaining of the season. And we were up 12-0 first quarter. Things were going well. Well, they fought back. They were at home. We were on the road, and they ended up having us 16-12 in the second quarter. Well, 2 minutes to go in the second quarter, we got an interception. Justin Washington jumped in front of a ball. Great break on the ball at cornerback, and it was just a break that we needed. And we turned right around with 45 seconds and pass from Tristan Randall to Caleb Dillon on a 53-yard strike for a touchdown. And so whereas they won the second quarter, but we finished the second quarter ahead 20-16. And after that, our guys just started to play football and believe in themselves and go out and just play Blazer ball. And we're just very proud of how we finished.
And talk about the guys, perfect segue. The week before, Corey Stafford, is that his name, sophomore?
Corey Stafford, yes, sir.
Corey Stafford, okay, scores the touchdown, scores the 2-point conversion, gives you the 8 points. And he had over, 135, 145 yards?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then you come back this week, and Tristan Randall, 4 touchdowns, 6 for 9 passing, 135 yards. I mean, talk about some of these guys that have been stepping it up for you.
Well, Corey's a sophomore, and he's a kid that was on our roster last year, just developing, and believe it or not, there's a lot of good football in Corey Stafford. He's still learning the game, and he has speed to kill, but he's learning how to run. He's learning how to read his blocks. Our offensive linemen are just doing a phenomenal job, whether it's run blocking, pass blocking. We're learning how to finish blocks and play very physical. And so when our offensive line, led by Michael Henley and Junior, we call him Junior, but Junior Robinson, those guys are doing a really good job of leading the way so that guys like Tristan Randall can have time in the pocket to make passes. And our receivers are blocking downfield, running backs are blocking. It's just fun when you see everybody taking care of each other. Jaleel Calhoun is one of our receivers that we were waiting on have a big night. He had 3 catches, 43 yards and 3 touchdowns. And just to see the guys really play up to expectation and their potential has been really fun to watch.
Yeah, well, 2-0 start. You got to love it. So This week, you're taking on who over Davenport?
We got Thomas Sumter this week. This will be our first region game. They're coming down here, and that's going to be at 7:30 kickoff at Daffin Park. So we're excited to play Thomas Sumter this Friday night.
Now, from what I understand, a good friend of mine, and he helps me out a lot with the Prep Sports Report, Pigskin previews, Pigskins roundups. But he said Gatlin Kimbrough, senior quarterback threw for 202 yards and 2 touchdowns while rushing for another 48. Are you ready to take on a dual threat quarterback? And what can we expect? 3 things that you're gonna need to do to win Friday night.
Well, we've got to stop the perimeter. They would like to establish the C gap, and so we've got to make sure that all gaps are covered. And so they are pretty big and physical football team. So in order for us to have success Friday night, we have to make sure that everybody do their job, kind of the Bill Belichick, everybody have a responsibility. And so we have to do their job. They also run a lot of misdirection. They're pulling their guard. Sometimes they pull a guard and a tight end. And so we got to make sure that we're getting in the hip pockets of the guards, and that even though they have the pull, sometimes they'll elude you to think that they're running the pool and the quarterback comes back on the backside. So we got to stay at home. We got to make sure that we're home for the counter. We're in everybody plugging the gaps, everybody doing their job, and we believe defensively we can have success.
Come down to assignment football Friday night, eh, Coach?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Well, Antoine, great start to the season. Like I said, short and sweet. I appreciate it. And once again, you're doing a great job. And I know that, Bethesda couldn't have a fine man for those kids to look up to. So keep it up, and following you every week, buddy.
Well, we definitely appreciate it. Thanks for having us on. It's always a pleasure. You do a great job of highlighting all of our athletes and all of the schools here. And we really appreciate what you do, sir.
It's all about the kids. That's what we believe in, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right. Good luck, Coach. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us. Take care.
And there you go. You can't find a finer man to lead a group of young men to play the game of football and to play the game of life, because that's what he does over there at Bethesda. He's also the chaplain, the athletic director. I know I joke around. I said he drives the bus, he cuts the grass, he's the custodian, but he's the chaplain, and he's a leader over there for those young men over at Bethesda Academy. Friday night, 7:30, Daffin Park. The Blazers taking on Thomas Sumter Academy. Should be a good one. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be right back with the next coach. And welcome to Thursday night Prep Sports Report Pigskin preview for week number 3, even though we want to go week 0, week 1, week 2. But we're going to look into the big games this weekend. And my first guest to step it up is the man himself, the elder statesman of high school football coach here in Savannah, Georgia. And that's no other than Calvary Day School head coach Mark Stroud. What's up, Coach? How's it going?
It's going great, man. It sounds really like an old man there, the elder here now. So it's but it's going good. It's really going good. As you well know, we've really got we got a great staff that's come on board with us, and it's one of the best, or maybe the best staff I've been around as a whole. So it's been phenomenal. It's been really good. Guys work really hard.
First of all, when do you find a man marry his daughter during the middle of football season? Or at the beginning of football season? First of all, congratulations, Coach. I know you had a big wedding last weekend, and you found it right there during the bye week.
Yeah, well, listen, we knew a year in advance, so we didn't find the bye week. We created the bye week. This is a girl that has been around football her whole life, but this trumps everything. So, yeah, it was great. We had a great time, and it was a great wedding. Thanks.
Well, congratulations. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so let's go back. You had a bye week last week. Well, you didn't have a bye week. You had a big festival going on. But we go back to the first week, which everybody likes to say week 0. But you and I know it's week 1. You took on Islands High School with a big win, 49-6. Tell us about your impression of your team's first game out of the gate.
Well, I'll tell you, I was really proud of our guys. I thought we came out and we played with because we had, a delay. Probably an hour and 20-minute delay, something like that. And they were sitting around and waiting, but they were they were just ready to play. So I was really proud of the entire group for coming out. I mean, we just came out of the gate right immediately and really played with a lot of emotion. We played hard. We played very physical on both sides of the ball. And I was really proud of that. That our defense, I thought, set the tone right out of the gate when they had our defense on the field first, and they And we just, I mean, we come off the ball and stroked them and just set the tone that we're going to be super physical. And then, the first play, offensive play from scrimmage, we score. So great start. And, I thought overall, it's our first game. You have a bunch of stuff that doesn't look right when you get through, but I thought just the effort, the attitude, the toughness, all those things we care about were in place. It was good.
Well, you came out strong. You put it right away on the scoreboard, and every time you turned around, it was a short field, and you guys took advantage of it. So I know it's a 49-6 ball game, but in your mind, who stood out for the Cavaliers in that first week?
I mean, I thought our defensive line played really well. I thought our entire defense played well, honestly, and did some really good things, set the tone for the game. Just being very physical, had a really high motor. So that was a real positive. And then I thought Jake just played really well. He looked like a guy that everything was moving very slow around him, and he was looking like he was fast. He just showed a lot of poise. He bought time in the pocket. And we got a lot of new guys on the offensive line. I think we're going to be good there. It's going to take a minute, but we'll continue working on that. But we're progressing well there. We just got a lot of guys with not a lot of experience. So when you got that, you got some blown stuff in that first game, and no matter what. So I thought Jake really did a good job of buying some time. And Coach Russell Namasi's been, it was great to see. He's been working on a scramble drill with him, moving up the pocket and things like that. And this man, when it shows up, it's happening, and he's doing it well. I thought that was excellent. I thought the receivers played well. I thought we had a really good game plan on both sides of the ball. From both of our coordinators, our whole staffs, the defense, offensive staffs. And, it's great to see it come into play and guys be able to make plays. And, receivers played well, backs ran hard. I think the offensive line played hard. We will continue to get better there. But overall, I think just the attitude and the effort part was good.
All right, and like you said, you created a bye week because you had to marry your daughter off. The baby girl, so you had to marry her off. So, there's two things coaches hate, and I think you can dislike. Let me take away the word hate. Yeah. Dislike. Homecomings and bye week.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
How's your team going to respond? You come in as the number 3 team, and I know it doesn't matter to you like it didn't matter to me, but you come in the number 3 team in Class 3A, which in reality you're still a 1A school, and Eagles Landing Christian Academy, ELCA, comes in as the number 2 team in AA. So how do you prepare? What are you looking for in this game? Give us the 3 keys that you think is going to help your team win this game.
Well, I think definitely we just got to, we got to eliminate the really big plays that they're capable of making. They've got 2 receivers that are, they're Power 5 guys. One of them, I guess, can go anywhere he wants to go. And then they got another guy that's pretty similar to him. So they got a back that's just got off by Boston College. He's maybe one of the best guys we've seen in a long time. I'm saying I'll say this. I think we just can't give up the home run shot. We got to make him earn everything, and then we just can't misfit something on our front 7 because the back is so good. He does a great job of he's going to run the power play from backside B gap to play side C gap. He's just a great vision guy. So you just got to make sure all the gaps are taken care of and we don't leave a gap exposed. Just got to be really sound there and avoid giving up the home run. I think that's the first thing. I think, we're going to have to be able to protect Jake well. I think if we can protect well, then I think we can really make some things happen in the passing game. And I really think our offensive line is really progressing really well. So, if we can move the sticks well, keep the ball in their hands, and then hit that home run occasionally for ourselves, I think that's going to be really important for us to be able to do that. And as you well know, at the end of things, you just got to eliminate foolish things from happening, especially if the game is really close. Then you have to be able to handle, penalties and, turning the ball over and things like that. And I think, we're trying to – we feel like we got enough – I'm just coaching a lot of games that are big games, and sometimes you can mess that up because you can overdo it, right? It's a big enough game itself, so I don't think we have to create tons of rah-rah around this game because then what will happen a lot of times you can get people too jacked up, start of the game, and you go out there and you start making foolish mistakes, and everybody's on edge, everybody's losing their mind, and so we have to be very. We certainly have to be emotionally ready to play, but we have to have some calmness to us too, and just do our job.
It's Friday night, 7:30. First big game of the season for you guys. You had a week to get ready. Well, you have almost 2 weeks to get ready for it. So, Coach, look forward to it. And once again, you got the team on the right track. You got a great coach staff. Wish you the best of luck, and hopefully talk to you more about what's going on with Cavalier football.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Always a pleasure. And once again,
Thanks,
congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate it, man.
I'll
Take
talk
care.
to you.
Okay, see you.
I mean, the guy's been around a long time. He's got a lot of games under his belt. Another big game for the Cavaliers over there at the corner of 63rd and Paulson. Mark Stroud will have the Cavaliers ready. They come in, I got to correct myself, as the number 4 team in Class 3A, and they're taking on the number 2 team in Class AA, ranked by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Eagles Landing Christian Academy, Friday night, 7:30 at Specialty Sports Complex. Be there. I will. And it's Thursday night. Prep Sports Report Pigskin preview for week number 3. Okay, we're going into week number 3, even though they tell us it's week number 2. Like I said with the previous coaches, I consider it going into week number 3. This next team has been on the rise. They've been building the hill. They have a great reputation. And, when you play the Wildcats, you're going to be in for a ball game. They opened up the season with a 14-0 victory over former region rival Effingham County. And then they came back last week and they had to take on a very, very good perennial state playoff championship team school in Ware County. They came away with a 20-7 loss. But we're going to recap that with the man himself, 8 years in at the Hill, doing a great job. And joining me now for the Thursday night Prep Sports Report Pigskin preview for September 2nd, 2022, head coach Matt Lizotte. What's up, Coach?
Coach, what's up, man? How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. I get to watch a lot of football. Now that the kids over at Calvary, I'll get to watch them a lot. But it's going to be strange not being at TA Wright Stadium on Saturday mornings. But I don't mind going over to 63rd and Paulson, and I did that a lot when my youngest son played there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. How you doing? You come home, you got kids going all over the place. Tough.
It's wild. It's wild, my man. They they're excited. They're participating in everything. They got involved in balancing that along with the things that I got to do to pay the bills. It's what every parent goes through, but it's enjoyable. Being able to see them get out and participate, and got a girl playing softball and another one cheering, and it's great. And their biggest fan is their younger brother. So it's always interesting evening times around the Lizotte household.
Oh, I remember those days, and you got to have a coach's wife who understands what's going on.
Absolutely, I'm very fortunate. Very fortunate. She gets it, and she lets me get my game on.
All right, so let's make this short and sweet because I know it's been a long day for you. You got to go back at it again tomorrow, teach and coach and everything else. All right, so first week you open up 14-0 against former region rival Effingham County, 14-0. Then you come back and you take a trip down to Ware County, and you have to take on one of the better teams in the state, and you come home 20-7 on the losing end of it. So tell us what you took away from the first 2 weeks of the season going into this week's game.
Well, I'll tell you, the biggest thing is how bright our team could be this year. It's one of those things where you get going in the wintertime and you finish up in December and you start back in January and you have a brand new team, brand new squad, new guys entering into the program, old guys leaving the program, and you never know what to expect. And every team is different. Every team is completely different than the team that came before them. And so, we've been growing and developing with these guys. Very youthful team. I think we have we got one senior that starts on defense and 4 on offense right now. And so, you know, it's one of those things where super youthful team. They're super fun to be around. They show up every day and go to work. And, you know, we had a hard fought battle against Effingham, against a very good Effingham team that's going to win a lot of games this year. And we didn't make big mistakes. And then we go down to Waycross and in the pouring down rain, go against a very good Ware County team. Returned just about everybody on defense from a state playoff team last year. And I mean, you know as well as I do, they're really tough to play in the swamp. And so we went down there and listen, Carl, we had the ball with a minute and a half left inside their 20 with a chance to score to go ahead and turn the ball over on downs. They essentially hit 3 plays all night offensively against us. They had a couple long pass plays and a long run there at the end of the game. But I was proud of the fight in our guys. You know, that's one of the things that we're never gonna allow is our guys to be soft and give in to quitting. It's, you know, it's ingrained in all of our DNA to quit when it gets difficult.
Oh, yeah.
We don't allow it. Oh, here Richmond Hill and those guys fought till the very end. And there's some exciting Friday nights ahead of these guys. And the good thing is the majority of them have 2.5 seasons, 2+ left to go out there and do it, which is really exciting.
And you know, that leads us into the next question. So you guys got stepping up, Rayvon Grant, and you know, your quarterback. So who do you feel has been stepping up for the Wildcats so far?
Well, I tell you what, our defensive front seven has probably been the most impressive group. And like the one senior that we have starting plays in defensive line. He's a defensive tackle. Then we got a couple juniors, defensive end, and we have a big rotation of defensive line guys. And then we have a junior playing outside linebacker and 2 sophomores playing inside. And so it's these guys are cutting their teeth against the talent that we're facing, and we're able to pitch a shutout against Effingham, and then come back against a very, very tough team. And you know, we made some mistakes. We made some alignment mistakes and some fundamental mistakes that it's just we're that close, that close for these guys being really, really good. And you know, it's just one of those things where, and you know, I was talking to them earlier in the week and saying, guys, you know, like we don't have the raw talent and ability to make big mistakes and for that to take over like a lot of teams do. And we have to be fundamentally sound. We have to aim for perfection, and we're really close right now, Carl. I'll tell you what, man. Like it's fun to see, and you know we're going to put more points up on offense. It's rained in every one of our games, and so we're looking hopefully for a Friday night that the weather's in our favor a little bit. Then I say in our favor, just where we're not wet, standing on the sidelines. You know, so we'll see how that shakes out.
Now, is it turf field or natural field up there at the Richmond Hill now?
Natural field. The new high school they're building, man. Wait till you see this place. I mean, it's the largest high school built from start to finish in the history of the state of Georgia, and
wow.
and our stadium's going to be immaculate.
Nice.
Man, it's going to be great, and we're fall of 24 is when we're going to have that thing. But until then, we're just in Wildcat Stadium getting our game on, and man, it's an electric environment. It was electric against Effingham, packed house, which it's a great venue for high school football here on the coast.
Oh, you definitely natural grass too, and rain coming in maybe Friday night, and you take it on a team. The Jenkins Warriors, I mean, started out slow the first game, and all that other stuff we're not going to talk about. They didn't complete the game. Then they come back and they get down behind from a very good Bluffton team, and they scored 20 unanswered points to come back and win that game. So what are the 3 keys for the Wildcats to take care of business this weekend against the Jenkins Warriors?
Well, I'll tell you, the one thing is that we can't turn the ball over. Not, man, it's coach talk. Everybody always talks about turning the ball over, but that's been the tale of the 2 teams that have played at Richmond Hill in the 2 games. You know, the one has turned the ball over and one has not turned the ball over, and won and lost the turnover battle. And we lost it Friday night and lost the game. And most times in high school football, that follows suit. And the big thing is we're going to have to establish ourselves offensively. You know, that we're going to have to key on opportunities. We had a ton of missed opportunities in both games to capitalize, and we've been so close to doing some things that I told our coaches that we're not going to blame it on youth anymore. We're either going to get the job done or we're not. We're not going to blame it on their age. We're going to be measured by, do we get it done or do we not? And if not, then we're going to find some folks that will get it done. And so we have to capitalize on those opportunities. And the big thing for us in that offensive scheme is, man, those dudes that they got on defense, man, golly, they can go. And they're multiple on offense. Trying to think about three different things. I think that the next thing is going to be make sure that we can get lined up on defense. Right. A multitude of formations and plays, and they don't switch personnel, Carl. They keep the same dudes on the field, and they get in all these different formations, these different schemes. Makes it really difficult. Coach Welsh does a great job over there, and excited to have them come over. The reason we got them on the schedule is because we know that they've always got great talent, but they're also a well-coached team that's going to come in and help us prepare for the back end of our schedule. Everything that we have going on right now is in preparation for the back end.
And it's a big night. You're going to have senior night, so all kicks off at 7:30, right?
All kicks off, man. I tell you, we're going to tee it up at 7:30, but prior to that, we're going to celebrate our seniors at pregame. So we're going to get going at 7. Here the past couple of years, it started with COVID, doing senior night early in the season, and it's been a big hit. Timing's always been great. Right. And it's allow these guys to really celebrate their senior years. When the last, I was eight seasons here. About the last 6, the last couple games of the season have decided the region championship, and now we've come up short, but we've also won them. And allowing those guys to be able to focus on region play, focus on the task at hand, is imperative to our success. And we feel like we're more successful at the end of the season, getting some of the festivities over with at the beginning of the season. So that's kind of the reasoning behind it. It's kind of a little funky. Traditionally, I think it's the last home game that most folks do senior night, but we've kind of flipped the script on that and said, hey, we're going to be dialed in, get ready for the playoffs, getting ready for a run at a region title. And we need all the focus of our attention being towards that. So it's going to be a fun one.
Well, I know it's been a long day. Great season so far for the Wildcats, young and rising. So besides building the hill, they're rising the young Wildcats. They keep up the great work and look forward to the outcome and speaking to you throughout the season. So keep up the great work, Matt, and thanks for finding time to come on.
Carl, thanks so much. Build the hill.
You got it. Go Wildcats. The man is, he's into what he's doing. He's got great family support. 2 young girls, young boy, but he knows how to manage his family life and his football life, and he does a great job. And hey, young team, 7 strong in the front over there on only 1 senior on the defense. You better watch out for the Richmond Hill Wildcats. Once again, it's Thursday night. It's the Prep Sports Report Pigskin Preview, and we'll be right back after this. Once again, I hope you enjoyed the Pigskin Preview, the breakdowns from the coaches and what they are looking forward to tomorrow night. Got to thank, of course, Danny Britt from Benedictine, Antoine Turner from Bethesda, Mark Stroud from Calvary, and, of course, Matt Lazat from Richmond Hill. Here's your final slate of games for tomorrow night, September 2nd, 2022. Jenkins at Richmond Hill, Islands at South Effingham, Bradwell at New Hampstead at Poolish Stadium, Westminster at Benedictine Memorial Stadium, Eagles Landing Christian Academy at Calvary Day School, Groves at Savannah High Stadium, Johnson and Windsor Forest at Island Stadium, Savannah Country Day at Aquinas, John Paul II at St. Andrews, Thomas Sumter at Bethesda at Daffin Park, Effingham County at Statesboro, Beach at Brantling County, Bryan County at Wheeler County. So once again, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back with week number 4 next week with a wrap-up of week number 3. Also, I'll get 2 or 3 coaches to give me their input on how the games went. And once again, I thank you for joining the coach, Carl Damasi, on the first Prep Sports Report Pigskin Preview for 2022.